What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. A few months ago I did a build video on this EPC9 9mm little pistol caliber carbine. You guys really liked that video. I had a few comments, people wanting an update on it and some range footage, so I got that for you today, so let's jump into it. I bought this builder set a while back. It's one of Aero Precision's monthly builder sets. It was, I think, their 4th of July type builder set last year. And it's got the custom Cerakote, came with the upper, the lower, and that handguard. And then I sent these other pieces off to the same company to get Cerakoted to match. So today we're just gonna do a quick overview of the build. I'll tell you some things I like so far, some things I don't like, some things I still need to add, and then we'll look at some range footage. I got this thing to the range, it runs flawlessly. But let's start with an overview. So this thing, like I said, is chambered in 9mm. Most of the parts I bought from Aero Precision. It's their bolt carrier group, their barrel. I did an Epsilon 9mm muzzle brake, which in the past on my 9mm builds I usually put a blast shield or some sort of linear compensator on it, kind of similar to that one. I just kind of like the way that looks, but I wanted to try out a muzzle brake on the 9mm, so I threw that on. Their breech charging handle. I also did the primary arms SLX red dot MD25 and the SB PDW pistol brace. This one I got with the Atlas R1 handguard, which I like. I like that Picatinny rail on the top. So if you're gonna add accessories like iron sights or a light, anything like that, like on this other 9mm I have my light mounted on the side and then a pressure switch to turn it on and off right up on top, which works out good. So in that last video, I put this thing together, went over a few things. Like I said, I got some comments, people wondering why the heck I didn't put up any range footage. Well, I didn't have time. I did that video right after I put it together and hadn't been to the range yet. So I finally hit the range a few weeks ago. So let's look at how this thing shot. So this thing ran perfectly at the range. I didn't have any hiccups. The last round bolt hold open worked awesome. I really like how this thing ran, how it shoots. I tried a bunch of different ammo in it, probably 4 or 5 different brands, plus some reloaded stuff that I've reloaded, and they all ran perfectly. You can tell from the video, some of that reloaded stuff I did is a little hot. You can see the flash out the end of the muzzle, but everything ran perfect. This red dot, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, these things are one of my favorites. As you can tell, I have one on this gun also. But for the money, these things run perfectly. They look good. Obviously, I had this one Cerakoted to match. If you guys are looking for a budget-friendly, amazing red dot, check these out. Like with all my videos, I'll have a link in the description that'll take you to our website, and I'll have links for everything I've used on this build, so you guys can go check out stuff if you want and pick some of that stuff up. But with this red dot, I didn't do anything. I slapped it on just like I normally do, and you can see in this picture, this red dot, I hadn't zeroed it or anything. I was aiming at the upper left corner of these vertical bars, and you can see right down in the middle, right underneath it, is where I was hitting. Like I said, haven't zeroed it or anything. You can see this thing's hitting pretty consistent at 25 yards without sighting it in or anything. Obviously, I need to adjust it so it's hitting right where I'm aiming, but that's just kind of a good indication of how accurate this thing comes right out of the box. Another thing that I really like that I haven't tried before is this safety selector. It's a Radian weapon system Talon safety selector. It comes with different size levers, so you can set it up how you want it. I have it set up with the large lever on the left side and the small lever on the right side. It's nice to have that ambidextrous option, and I found that with the larger lever on the right side, it was hitting my hand a little more than I like, so I put that small lever on that side, and that thing's nice. I really like how that feels and how it operates. The clicks are very audible, and it's not loosey-goosey like some ambidextrous safety selectors can be. I did a Timney pistol caliber carbine trigger in this with a flat shoe on it. That thing runs awesome. It's got virtually no take up, crisp, clean brake. And then here's the reset. Short. That thing's money. I really like that trigger in a pistol caliber carbine. The muzzle brake, it wasn't overly loud. I thought it might be extremely loud. It wasn't too bad. As you can see from the footage, it does its job. And at an indoor range like I was at, it wasn't crazy, and it really helps out with recoil. One thing I don't like is that pistol brace. This is the first SB PDW that I've tried, and I'm not a huge fan. Reason being, one, without getting my hands on one before I ordered this, I thought it would collapse up smaller and be a little shorter profile than like the SBA3. They're pretty similar with how far they collapse up, but the SBA3 is a lot easier to adjust. This thing has a lever on the bottom that you kind of have to push and pull back. There's only 3 adjustments in this, and you pretty much have to use 2 hands to get it to adjust. Whereas this one, you can just grab it, adjust it. It's got 5 different spots. You can adjust it however you want it, which is kind of nice compared to only 3 positions, and you got to use both hands to get this thing adjusted. So that's the thing I didn't like about that. These lowers do run with Glock magazines, which is nice because I got a bunch of those. It'll take any double stack Glock magazine, and it also has the last round bolt hold open. One thing I do need to add to this is a hand stop. I did find myself kind of creeping up on the front of that, which I don't like. I don't want to get my hand out in front and have that muzzle blast burn my hand or anything like that. So I do need to find a hand stop to put on here, something that'll look good and work good, just to get my hand placement perfect and prevent my hand from creeping up next to that muzzle. So yeah, I hope you guys like that. This thing shot awesome. As always, check out that link in the description. It'll take you to our website. You can check out all the parts and pieces I used on this build, as well as some of my favorite tools and stuff that I use for at-home gunsmithing and my favorite red dots, stuff like that. So go check that stuff out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I got a lot of cool content coming. We're going to do another overview of my gun room now that I've been in here for about a year. I also just got a new holster for my Walther PDP that I want to go over with you guys. I know I've had a lot of comments about what holster I'm running, and I just got one, and I think it's a pretty sweet option. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and we'll check you guys on the next one.